Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rumors of Heresy. My name is Zareth, and we've got another battle report for you today. This time against the new Aeldari, the battle host detachment. It's crazy, guys. So just don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment, do something to help mount the algorithm, folks. It helps a lot. Thank you so much for your support. If you've seen my previous battle report, you know that I've been trying. This is the second attempt, so been trying is maybe too strong of a word, but we're attempting to use Salamanders with Gladius detachment, which is Gladius is just such a flexible, awesome faction. I know that it's not Firestorm. A lot of people want me to play Firestorm. They also want me to play Salamanders, so I'm trying to split the difference. And so from the last battle report, you can see I took out one of the storm speeders and I had an extra 50 points, so I added a vindicator this time instead. And the idea behind this list is just to be reactive and flexible and be able to do all the cool stuff that is possible. So that'll be fun. My opponent's Aeldari list, of course, it's the new Aeldari. They've got the cool movement shenanigans and everything. There's a lot of aspect warriors here with a lot of Phoenix Lords. The Phoenix Lords are going to be attached to their various groups, of course. They're aspect warriors, and that's basically it. Just 3 wave serpents. You guys will see it on the table. It's crazy, and of course the movement shenanigans, all the different things that they can do is it's pretty intimidating, honestly, guys. Let's actually just get into it, shall we? Whoa, here we are. Okay, so here's the deployment. You can see I've actually got my son here. He comes to the shop with me when we go to play. It's a lot of fun, guys. It's probably my favorite part of getting back into this hobby, honestly. So we actually finally get second turn, which is exciting. It's on Linchpin. I haven't gotten second turn for a really long time, but you can see here, I'll turn my face off for just a sec, and you can see my reserves. We've got in Deep Strike 10 jump pack intercessors and Storm Speeder Hammer Strike. Those will both Deep Strike, and then Ballistus and Vindicator will just be strat reserves. More and more I've been really loving using a lot of reserves here, folks. So then otherwise we've got the intercessors here. We want to make the objective sticky, of course, and we want to make it so that he can't try to get it with Lycus or any of those horrible, horrid creatures. We've got Predator Destructor, another Predator Destructor, just kind of in places that he's not going to be able to shoot on turn 1. He doesn't have that much super long-range firepower. He has lots of strong firepower, just not super long range. We got a Ballistus here, of course. Scouts will just scout move back into the building here as soon as they can. And so we've got a few proxies today, folks. One of them is this Rhino. It's acting as an Impulsor. It's holding 6 Blade Guard and Adrax, and of course they're just kind of overpowered with all the different rules that Adrax gives them. And Combi Lieutenant hanging on this objective just in case Vulkan can't roll. I think he has to roll a 2 or a 3 to be able to get onto this expansion objective for his advance. But that way Combi Lieutenant can just hang out here, and he's tough to see anyways because of lone op, all that stuff. And we're just we want to make sure that we can mess with objectives. Now, one of the weaknesses of this list that I'm discovering, guys, is it's tough to kind of threaten my opponent's expansion objective unless you get kind of creative, which I guess you guys will see. I've done another fight after this, which I can't tell you guys too much about, but I will say that you can mess with this objective, and you need to be able to be able to play high level games. It's just it's a tricky thing with this list because nothing I have is like super duper tough to kill. Honestly, nothing's super resilient. But anyways, that's what we've got on my side. We got the Infernus in the middle, just waiting to pop Dev Doctrine and burninate the countryside, burninate all the peasants, everyone. So in return, so he's got 2 squads of striking scorpions. They're just kind of hanging out in ruins here, waiting for their opportunity to strike. And otherwise, you got the Avatar of Cain, and then everyone else is in transports. He's got a Wave Serpent here with Fire Dragons and Fuegan, and Banshees, Howling Banshees with Jane Czar. They're all in that one. There's Azerman with 10 Daher Avengers. Azerman, man. He puts the ass in ass here. Anyways, and then we've got another Wave Serpent, which is the same as the other one, just without the Phoenix Lords. We've got 5 Fire Dragons, 5 Banshees, and that's it. I mean, it looks like a lot of stuff. He's also got the 5 Warp Spiders with Lycus, and I mean, I guess we'll see how it goes. Here's a photo without any of those markings, just so you guys can see what it looks like. And you know, we're just going to move the scouts back into the building here. The incursors are going to scout move up, so that we're just kind of holding this building and waiting to see where our opponent ends up. So he rolls his first turn secondaries, and they're not good. No prisoners is actually pretty terrible for this army, or for the first turn, I should say, because I don't give people first turn shots usually, or if they do get first turn shots, they're exposing themselves to the point that it's going to be a really tough game for them. And engage on all fronts, you have to hold table quarters, which is a really tough one on turn 1 as well. Or not hold table quarters, but you have to get an entire unit all the way across into other table quarters. These are really tough ones to get on turn 1. Like this one, I would probably just get rid of engage on all fronts and pay a CP to get rid of them, even on turn 1. But because you can't do either of them, really. You can't really engage in them. So, okay, this is actually after my turn 1, so we'll try to imagine all the things that are happening here on his turn. So he just moves his striking scorpions up into this building here, just kind of threatening this objective. But it doesn't get onto it. He moves the Howling Banshees and Fire Dragons without Phoenix Lords. He moves that Wave Serpent like down here and then back over to this little area here. And you can't hardly see him, but the Avatar of Cain is just hanging out here behind the wall as well. And then Azerman and his buddies just float over here to hold the home objective, of course, and then he's got striking scorpions back here to hold this objective, and then he's got the Phoenix Lords and the various aspect warriors, the Fire Dragons and the Howling Banshees in this transport. They're all kind of just staged, waiting, ready to strike whenever they can. So in return, on my turn, well, here, so he doesn't score anything. He gets rid of both of them, because why wouldn't you? And I struck gold. I got wonderful secondaries. Extend BATTLELINE, secure no man's land, wonderful. Really good ones. You just, on turn 1, that you couldn't ask for a better combination. Like, I don't know if I've ever gotten this one. Maybe like once or twice to start. Just an amazing combination that you wish you would get in a tournament or something. But it's very lucky. So I put 1 scout onto the objective here as close to the building as he could, so he could reactive move away if he wanted to. And then otherwise, everyone just kind of moved up. We've got some Infernus Marines right here, some more Infernus Marines. I thought I was screening this corner here pretty well, and actually maybe I did for one turn. We'll see. I think turn 2 is when he rapid ingresses something, and maybe or maybe not. Maybe I'm able to screen him all the way out. Cool foreshadowing, right? But anyways, so we got the Intercessors. The objective is sticky, so I don't have much incentive to stand on the objective. I just want to spread my guys out, and that's mostly what I'm able to do. The Ballistus is able to get a shot into, like, he's got his Wave Serpent sticking out. Its butt is out here, and you ask, oh, but Xerath, why? Why is he over here and not having his butt sticking out still? Well, I'm glad you asked. I put Oath of Moment on the stupid guy, and when I shot him, and did a little damage, like 3 points of damage or something. He scooted up with one of his movement shenanigan tokens so that I couldn't see him anymore. So that was a little bit sad. And then Vulkan rolled a 1 for his advance, so he couldn't get onto the objective. But again, that's why we have our combi lieutenant here. And not really that well staged. The logistics of handling this many models is in the middle, like all the different infantry guys. It's kind of tricky here, honestly, if I'm just being honest. Which why wouldn't I be? But you know, I'm trying to learn how to deal with it. So, anyways, good start. I got 10 points for secondaries, and he got none. And we move into turn 2. So he's got Established Logos and Sabotage, which are pretty achievable, even if they're not the highest scoring. At least he's got something he can do. So on his turn, I didn't get a picture after he got done with this, so we're gonna have to use the power of our imaginations here, folks. So first, let's go here. Because I don't have Vulkan on his objective. Remember, Vulkan is 10 OC on his objective, right? And this is his objective. So, but he's not on that objective right now. So what he does is he moves his Wave Serpent right here onto the objective, just so that he can deny me scoring. He doesn't get anyone out. Now, you can, if you want, get guys out and make them so that they can't be overwatched. You can only choose that one time, and he wants to do it up top, as you'll see. But what he could have done is got his Howling Banshees out. They have so they get 3 inches, and then they get another like 7 inches to move, and then they get another like 6-inch auto advance, and then they can charge after they advance. So they can get into Vulkan Squad if they want, but I would be able to overwatch them, which, I mean, 5 Howling Banshees without the Phoenix Lord are probably just gonna get roasted by Vulkan, or at least a lot of them are, because they don't have a super good save, and he's -1, like he's strength 6 on his flamer. He got a minimum of 4 hits, wounding on 2s, and then if they're saving on 5s, like I'll kill most of them if they want to get up close and personal, and then if they charge, probably I survive and just kill the remaining, even if they kill a couple of guys. Like that's not really the fight he wants to have. I mean, the fire dragons could have come over here and make a mess of things, but then I'm able to just kill that entire transport worth of guys for the cost of Vulkan and company, and that Vulkan and company might not even die from that anyways. And I could reactive move onto the objective, or like across over the wall so that he can't get to me. So instead he just gets onto the objective. The avatar just stays where he's at and sabotages. He's quite the good little saboteur, that avatar of Cain. And then okay, so in the middle here, he's got Striking Scorpions, and he wants to establish Locus, and I don't know if he got it confused or what, but he gets them out and just hops onto this objective. I think he could have just established from the building, or maybe he could have put one guy here, but one way or another, his Scorpions just kind of all get onto here. And I think what he wanted to do actually was charge my scout, who was on the who was right here, just hanging out to do secure no man's land. I think he wanted to charge him, but when I did a reactive move with the scout got back in here, and so his whole squad was just kind of out in the open. Now I did remind him I had reactive moves, but I think he was also just really busy trying to remember all the mechanics from his own army. So anyways, this is the top part was probably the most interesting aspect. No pun intended, or was there? But he got out his fire dragons and was able to he got them over here, and the Howling Banshees also came through over here somewhere. You know, they got the auto advance, like they've got a huge threat range, and so he gets all of them out. Jane Zar and company are all over here, and the fire dragons with Fuegan just demolish this Ballistus. Like, not close. He just dies. Goodbye, Ballistus. You are trash. Not exactly, but he did die a pretty sad death. And then he spends a CP to get back into his transport, which for those of you who are Firestorm players, you know how frustrating that is, because we can't do that, even though we're supposed to have good transport shenanigans on our CP. We can't disembark from a transport, then embark in that same transport again for a CP. Yeah, on the same turn that they disembarked. So, a little frustrating, but anyways, they kill the Ballistus and get back in. So, good for them. Bag of dongs, man. Bag of dicks. But the Banshees, of course, are still here. They get the I don't want to be overwatched ability. So they come here, and the Infernus would have gladly just burninated them. Instead, the Howling Banshees charge. They obliterate this squad of Infernus, and then they consolidate into melee with this other squad of Infernus. So we're out of this Ballistus. We're out of this Infernus squad. And he's got a squad of 5 Howling Banshees with Jane Czar in melee here. But the Infernus actually managed to kill a few of them, just because Howling Banshees don't have great saves. So took him out, and that was it for his turn 2. Pretty good. I mean, it's a decent turn because he's stopping me from scoring, which is nice, and he's got stuff to mess with me in my back zone. The shenanigans don't stop. Oh, I should also point out, I also put I rapid ingress a squad of jump bag intercessors right here, just so I could have options to be able to use them on something cool. Maybe I rapid ingressed him into the building. I don't exactly remember. I think it was into the building, actually, now that I think of it. We rapid ingressed them there, and then the next picture will show you where they eventually went. So I rolled containment and no prisoners, which is also, that's like the second perfect roll for secondaries for me. Just the most marvelous ones ever. So for containment, we deep struck the land speeder storm right here, and then this combi lieutenant didn't even have to move, and he was good to go. To do containment. So down here, you can see I was able to, I took the Vindicator in from reserves. I think I put all my reserves in, actually. Vindicator, but this is the ugly proxy for it, my apologies. It's able to come in here, and between it and this Predator, and I think maybe this Predator, I think I only needed 2. We managed to kill the Wave Serpent, and then Vulkan, anticipating this situation, was able to just come in and I killed all the Howling Banshees. I had to charge them, but I think 1 Howling Banshee and 1 Fire Dragon died. And then Vulkan comes in, hits with 6, wounds with 6, and he's able to save like all but 1 on his 5-up invuln, which is a little bit frustrating, even though, I was able to kill, but I did kill all of the Howling Banshees, which was nice. I think they got some fight backs or something like that, and killed one of the company heroes or something. I don't remember how they died. One way or another. We did lose one of the company heroes, which was a tragedy. Just pure tragedy. Over here in the middle, he's got his striking scorpions, right? And so we need to kill him. And I think that, yeah, so what ended up happening, so we've got the, everything's all tied together, guys, it's just a jumble. So we've got the Howling Banshee fight right here, right? The Howling Banshees are connected to the Infernus Marines. And so what happens is I was gonna fall back so that I'm gonna do tactical doctrine, right? Because that way I have reactive moves of 6 inches at the next turn if I wanted to, and the the Infernus Marines can move over here, and they're able to just take out, they're able to burninate either the striking scorpions or the Howling Banshees, one group or another. And so the Howling Banshees do a reactive move, and they get over into the middle somewhere, because once you fall back from them, they can, if they still have a token, move d6 plus 1 inches. So they move over here somewhere. And I mean, there's not really a good place for them, though, because they started here, even 7 inches away. Like there's just not. I was able to block their good escape route, which would be through here, just through putting like the incursors here, and I put the Infernus Marines right here. So the Janezar and the Banshees are just surrounded by everyone, and I managed to, between all the different shooting and everything, managed to just take them all out, which felt good. They're dead. Yay. The jump intercessors, who did start in this ruin, so that he, what I really wanted to avoid, that was the big thing, was I wanted them to, I rapid ingress them onto this objective, so that if the Howling Banshees did charge the Infernus, which they did, they couldn't just stay on the objective and still score it, right? Like, I wasn't going to heroic intervene with them, I just wanted to have them on the objective so that my opponent couldn't take it away from me. Now that objective was settled, and they moved over here, right? So, and then the intercessors come over here, and it's just a bloodbath. The Banshees die. The jump intercessors actually fail their charge against that, against the Wave Serpent. So Fuegan and his Fire Dragons live another day. And then he did, so the thing you can't really see here, no matter how, it doesn't even matter how hard you try. Lincoln Park said it best. The Ballistus Dreadnought from other Strat Reserve comes in over here, and my opponent rapid ingresses, deep strikes the warp spiders, and lands in the corner here, or where, like right here. So the Ballistus actually has line of sight to him. The only thing that has line of sight to him is the Ballistus, but I did manage to kill 3 of the warp spiders, so that was nice. Obviously not even a leadership check for them, but I did manage to kill 3 of them with the Ballistus, using the Blast profile, and that was basically it. I mean, pretty good turn. Kill that Wave Serpent and most of the contents of it, which is nice. Kill a squad of Striking Scorpions, and take out Janezar and the Howling Banshees and half of the warp spiders. I would say that's a pretty good turn for me, though of course they have a pretty good clap back coming up, and I did manage to score all of it, so I got all 5 no prisoners and everything for containment. So we're ahead by 11 going into turn 3, which is actually a pretty big margin, especially because I didn't score anything on primary, really. You know, he scored his 8, I scored only 3. He got a sabotage, established locus, and going into the next turn, he got area denial and containment, which containment is tough for an army that doesn't have a lot of models. Honestly, he just doesn't have a lot going on here with his models. So at least he doesn't have a lot of models to use it on. Anyways, I think his Striking Scorpions end up being able to do containment over here. The other thing that happens is earlier on turn 2, he had gotten out his Dire Avengers. Hold on a sec, I got a cough. Okay, we're back. Oof. Okay, so he had gotten out his Dire Avengers to be able to shoot the scout, but because I had done my reactive move with the scout back in, they didn't have anything to shoot at, so the Dire Avengers just hung out here, like kind of by this objective. Meanwhile, his Wave Serpent is barely able to stay on the objective here, and see my storm he shoots doesn't do anything, and that's it. But his Wave Serpent has to hold on to this objective. You know, my opponent's still figuring out his list and stuff. My guess is that he's going to turn this Wave Serpent into something else that holds this objective a little bit more efficiently, but one way or another. So the Dire Avengers had gone here, and he was like, oh, I can get area denial. So he shoots, Azurman evaporates the squad of Infernus here. So all my Infernus are gone at this point. So goodbye to them. So he uses a special ability, and just him evaporates that squad. And then I think I do Armor of Contempt against his other Dire Avengers, shooting against the Incursors. The Incursors actually survive, and but just with one guy left. I think I got a little bit lucky on saves, but with Armor of Contempt and stuff, like it doesn't take It doesn't take that much. I mean, he actually rolled pretty well on his wounds. So one way or another, we're good to go. The avatar comes over here. Oh, this is so tragic, guys. So really excited. First time I've ever used a Vindicator in my life, even back when I used to play in 5th and 6th edition. Just so excited to use him. The avatar walks up, uses a stratagem that lets him have sustained hits, right? And so so he shoots at the Vindicator. I'm like, okay, well, at most he's gonna just do 8 damage, right? Like, I'll be fine. And instead, he spikes his 6 on his sustained damage roll, and sustained hits, and he gets 2 hits in, 2 wounds that he passes his wounds, and then 2 saves from me at 5+. And I fail both of them, and he does 16 damage to me, and the Vindicator is just gone. Then the Avatar charges in and wipes out almost all of the heroes. So my son was wondering this, and I'll explain it to you. He was wondering why I took the company champion out instead of this stupid bolter guy, because I mean the mastercrafted bolter is nice, but he's the one of the most expendable. The reason though that I did that is I don't want the avatar to be able to consolidate onto the objective. We really don't want that because we only have 1 OC on that objective. And so when this guy managed to survive, well, one guy managed to survive. The only guy basing the avatar at all at that point was the mastercrafted bolter. So I had to take everyone else out first because I didn't want him to be able to consolidate onto the objective. That was the big thing. No consolidating onto the objective, sir. That would have been really bad. Of course, I might have been able to be able to consolidate with Vulkan back into him and get onto the objective. That might have been an option, but no, actually I didn't, because he had 2 fire dragons here that Vulkan had to fight, and if I failed that, then I didn't want him to stop me from scoring. So kept the mastercrafted bolter here, and killed the champion off, killed the heavy bolter, both of which I would have rather have kept. But anyways, we kept him from taking this objective, which was really nice. And then, so meanwhile, Asterman and the Dire Avengers used their ability to shoot and scoot onto this objective, but because they did the shoot and scoot, they weren't able to, they couldn't kill this incursor, which of course they're holding the objective. Like, I'm not gonna score on it, but the big thing here, folks, is he's got area denial as his thing, and he thought that he'd have enough shooting to take this last incursor out, but he didn't quite. And so instead of getting the 5 for area denial, he gets 0, because this guy, which I specifically chose for this purpose, he's denying even just the 3-inch, the small area denial. So no area denial for you, sir. And meanwhile, we've got over here up top. So Jane Zara is gone, but all the fire dragons and stuff, they're still healthy. So what happens over here is the Ballistus gets evaporated, just totally gone. With all the fire dragons at this point were alive, and then with Fuegan, they charge the jump intercessors and kill like all of them almost. They kill all but the 3 plasma pistol guys, because Fuegan is a total badass. And in return, these 3 guys did, at least they killed like 4 fire dragons, which, I mean, that's nice. It's okay. It's not perfect, of course, but it's something. And so over here, he's got Lycus and the warp spiders, right? And so they move up, and they're kind of close to where my guys are, and so I reactive move, and because I did tactical doctrine the turn before, they get a full 6-inch guaranteed move. And you can see this building's kind of moved, kind of skewed weird, but one way or another they didn't get on the objective, and so I just scooted them all the way off, because remember, the intercessors have made this sticky objective, and so because he didn't get onto the he was so close to them that he didn't feel like, he didn't want these guys to step out so that I could overwatch. That was the reason he didn't get like way out here. But then he didn't see fit to get onto the objective either, which was really nice, because then I could scoot out of here. And then he failed his 7-inch roll. I think he needed 7. he failed it because I had scooted 6 inches away from him. He failed it. He re-rolled it and still failed it. Whew. Been a long time since anyone's failed any charge on me, other than like a ridiculous like 11-inch charge. Oh, I failed, dang it, kind of situation. So, anyways, we're kind of doing okay. We're stopping him from scoring a bunch at the very least, and so in my turn, I mean, poor jump intercessors, man. They never get any kills, but they're really here just to make sure that I can hold this objective, which they did a perfect job of. And then, I mean, they took the brunt of an attack and killed a few guys, and then in the next turn, you guys will see they still maintain some usefulness. So I roll another pretty good set of secondaries: engage on all fronts and storm hostile objective. Of course, we're going to try to do storm hostile anyways, and engage, we'll get the small one of that regardless. So what happens on this turn, I pass all my battle shocks. Surprise, surprise. Really cool. But what ends up happening here is so let's go little segments here first, folks. So down here, Vulkan and company just get onto the objective. I think I put tactical doctrine on them so that they could shoot and so they could fall back, shoot, charge. And the idea here is if the avatar moves close to them at all, they can just get in the reactive move into the building. And otherwise that's it. That you can see a predator. I got a predator onto the objective as well. Whoa, that's a big arrow. And the combi lieutenant. So yeah, at the very least, the avatar can't get onto the objective. I think I did a couple wounds to him too, which is why we got the little wound counter here. But otherwise, the blade guard get out of their transport over here, and I put everyone else into assault doctrine. So they advance and they get into the Dire Avengers. The Dire Avengers overwatch them. I don't have a cool token to stop them from doing that. So the Dire Avengers actually killed 2 full blade guard, which was just so crazy, just really crazy rolls. But he did kill 2 of them, and in return, I was able to charge with them and this Incursor. The Incursor is kind of important because, anyways, they all charge in. And they kill all the Dire Avengers with just the 4 Blade Guard and the Incursor. And then, what's his name? Adrax swings. He does 5 hits, 5 wounds on Azurman. And Azurman saves all of them. He saves all of them. And in return, he does 3 damage each on his hits. He kills 2 more Blade Guard. It was just a really sad twist. I did consolidate in a little bit after this photo with the Incursor, just so that he could get that table quarter here, so that I could get full table quarters. But anyways, so kind of depressing, but we did storm that hostile objective and we took it back, so that was helpful. And then up top here, well, a couple things. Well, we'll do this one first because it's the most obvious. You remember the storm speeder that was in the corner? He moved all the way over here and charged the striking scorpions, making it so the striking scorpions couldn't hold this objective, because the other part of it was because these enterprising young fellows passed their leadership check, they were able to get onto, they were able to jump, fall back and jump onto this objective. Now, he used a token to get back into his transport as a reactive move to that. So he's got Fuegan in 1, Fire Dragon just in the Wave Serpent. But one way or another, we actually have the OC to deny him his primary on this objective, which is a pretty big deal, actually. And then the reason I didn't tank shock with the Land Speeder Storm is because over here we've got some crazy stuff going on. So we have the Intercessors who had, remember, fallen back before they reactive moved. They got into the building and they shot and killed all but 1 Warp Spider and Lycus. I think so they killed 2 more Warp Spiders here. Or 1, I don't remember. They didn't do that well. But then the Predator, who was I moved the Predator back here. And you can see all the scouts are just piled onto this objective, and so is the Impulsor, just so we have a lot of OC, so that we can't lose the back zone or the back objective this turn. The Predator charges in and is able to tank shock and do 5 wounds, which meant it killed the last Warp Spider. We had an X-Arch, which is why I wasn't able to. I think we did 2 wounds and we killed just the X-Arch. But one way or another, the tank shock killed the Warp Spider and did 4 wounds to Lycus, leaving him or her on 1. The Intercessors charge Lycus. Awesome. Kill Lycus. Even more awesome, because he only has 1 wound left. Kills Lycus. Really cool. Lycus fights on death and kills all 5 of the Intercessors. So womp womp, but at least the Warp Spider threat is no more, and we go into scoring. Well, let's see, how did we do? So I scored 4 on Storm Hostile, 4 on Engage on All Fronts. He didn't get... Oh, I guess I gave... Okay, so he didn't have Containment. I'm just dumb, guys. He had Assassination. He didn't get Assassination or Area Denial. Apparently I showed the wrong one. I apologize. But he kept Assassination for this round, but he threw away Area Denial because it's going to be tough for him to get that at this point. So he kept Assassination, and he got Defend Stronghold on his turn, which I can't stop, which is fine. 3 is not too much, considering I'm pretty far ahead right now. I've almost double his score, and that's because I didn't let him score on any of his objectives. He just scored on his home, and so surprising me a little bit, he moved his avatar over here. And I think it was still with, like, his initial move was still within 9 inches of Vulkan, so I still used my reactive move on him to get back here so that the avatar couldn't go anywhere to mess with them. You can see the Storm Speeder here, guys. It is just dead, and I just sat it there. It's not actually a thing, just so you're aware. But... anyways, his avatar is able to charge in and kill the last of the Blade Guard, except for Adrax, who has 2 wounds left. Adrax manages, he still has the Moment on Asterman and kills Asterman. Finally, he kills his ass, Yearman. And so we're good to go there. And well, not really that good to go. The avatar is still being a huge pain, but we did manage to kill Asterman, which means he doesn't have that many things left. And then over here, of course, it was just total destruction. The Storm Speeder got destroyed by Fuegan and the Fire Dragon. And then between the Striking Scorpions and the Fire Dragons and Fuegan, they killed the last 3 of the Jump Pack Intercessors. Not that tough of an objective, honestly, to get. But at this point, it's turn 4. He only has 1 more turn, which means I can't prevent him from scoring on his expansion objective. But he's not going to score on here because we're going to be able to get enough OC onto here to stop him from scoring. And he obviously isn't going to score on our expansion objective. And then on my own turn, I can just walk onto the objective and score on these 2. So we're in a pretty good position here. I continue to roll perfect for my secondaries. Got Established Locus, got Overwhelming Force, and so I don't think I have a picture for it, but we have the scouts go uppy downy, and they just go back here to do Established Locus, and Adrax and the Incursor both just don't mess with the avatar, but then the Impulsor is able to get over here onto the objective as well, and the Predator is able to get onto the objective, and that makes it so that he can't score the center very well. And then for shooting, I think actually the Incursor wasn't in melee, so he managed to throw a grenade at the avatar. I charged the avatar and tank shocked him and killed him, I believe. I think just all those mortals just took him out. And then I was able to get this other Predator out here somewhere. I forget exactly what thing happened, but I did manage to kill that last Fire Dragon as well, giving me full Overwhelming Force as well. And then even, so he's still got Fuegan, which Fuegan is a huge pain in the ass. He's still got all of his Striking Scorpions, and he's got a couple Wave Serpents, but we decided not to play it because he wasn't going to be able to score enough to win. Like, he might have some momentum. Like, Fuigin's going to be tough for me to deal with at this point. But I think without the avatar, without all this stuff, like, you know, we're still in a pretty good place. So I believe that's where we left it. I look at how perfect. I mean, you couldn't write more perfect secondaries. Like, you couldn't just choose them. I just rolled them naturally, just amazing. You know, I got 38 out of 40 on my secondaries without playing turn 5. Like, just obscenely good rolling there. I didn't score as well on primary, but I mean, linchpin, I guess the final thing I would have probably gotten a 15 on it if on the final turn. So final turn is worth quite a bit in linchpin if you can get to turn 5. And in return, I mean, he just didn't get that many good secondaries, and the ones that he did get, like, he didn't quite score them. Like, Assassination, he didn't quite manage to score it 2 turns in a row, guys. I don't know what to say. Like, that just feels bad, right? So good match to my opponent. I did end up getting quite a bit more points, and I think it would have even been more lopsided if we had played turn 5. But it was a good game, and really got a good feel for those Aeldari tactics. So let's get into the AAR real quick here. All right, so the movement shenanigans on Eldar, they felt really good. Like, they're really strong, really solid, but it didn't really seem like they super you know, mattered a whole lot. They were good. I didn't feel like they were overpowered though. It was kind of tough to get used to them, but once you did, it wasn't too bad. The Vindicator, the first time I ever used a Vindicator, folks, and it just died in a really embarrassing fashion. Surely it will survive better next time. Good foreshadowing for you. And so far, I really like this Salamanders list, guys. Vulkan didn't do that much, that many shenanigans with his flamers or Melta or whatever this time, but his OC10 was very relevant. He was able to do some good stuff. The Adrax and Blade Guard Brick was able to do some good stuff. The Overwatch was really brutal for them, and then not killing Asherman was also pretty brutal, but got through it. And that Dire Avenger squad with Azerman is pretty strong anyway, so no real regrets. But this list it's just fun, man. There's a lot of different threats, a lot of different components to success. I need to screen a little bit better, and I think the next time I play, which will be like the 4th game, the next time I play will be this exact same list, actually, the next battle report. But the one after that, I'm going to try to get some infiltrators in there, just so that I have some tournament versatility against things like bridgehead assaults and stuff. So anyways, this is a good result, good match. And real quick, let's talk about news. So first off, I might be using this list in a super major pretty soon. We'll see. Stay tuned for that. But we do have Denver. We have the Denver Fight Club RTT coming up in less than 2 weeks at this point. We have the Rocky Mountain Open, which is going to be a 250 person event, 6 rounds. There will be of multiple undefeated winners, so I might have a chance to be able to get to that point. You never know. And then there will be a 5-round, I think, GT in Cheyenne about a month later. And then I think it looks like I'm going to be playing in the team tournament in Denver here in about 3 months out. So who knows exactly what's going to happen, but I've already committed to doing it. So I think the team that I'm on will, I think will be good. And as of right now, I think I'm going to play Imperial Knights, which I don't own. I'm just going to have to borrow, but stay tuned for that as well, guys. So I'm going to let you go. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like or comment or subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember that if you didn't hear it from me, it's probably heresy. Take care, folks.